everybody, welcome back to Flamespyro art for beginners, and today we're going to start looking at how to wood burn smoke and clouds. I've got the reference photo up in front of me, and as we can see there is a lot of smoke on this image of this steam engine. So we're going to try and have a look and see if we can create some realistic looking big plumes of smoke with some depth to them, as we can see as it's moving further down our engine. We'll have a little look at the image while the pen's heating up. We'll use this. We've got some dark patches as this black smoke is billowing out at the front. Then we have further pipes further back with some lighter smoke, and then obviously tailing off into the distance again. There's more different depths and layers of smoke, so it's going to be a lot of looking for the right tonal values as we push some of this smoke back, bring this forward to the eye. So it's going to be quite a challenging piece. I'll see what happens if I turn my light on, see if it helps any. I don't know if it'll glare, but we'll turn the light away. So this is what we're going to be working on, and I made a little start on the side yesterday just to try and get myself in the flow of it. I'm going to keep the reference picture to one side, but I shall keep it up on the tutorial, so you'll be able to see the parts that I'm working on. So I'm going to look at this main front funnel first. Now what I found best to use for this sort of job is like a large flat shader. This one, you know, large round shader. It takes more heat, you know, to get it up really dark, but you don't want to be going too dark too soon, because we want to search out those tonal values. So we start off gently. I mean, I've got lots of outlines of bits and pieces that sort of help, but I wouldn't say they massively help. When you're creating clouds, you do have a lot of license, really. You know, you don't have to go with the cloud formation you see in front of you every exact bit, especially if it's just a piece you're working on for fun, or, you know, just a piece you're creating that isn't for a customer who wants a specific actual banker cloud. Then, you know, you've got artistic license to do what you want with. I'm going to start looking at just the edges of this big black plume first, because what I always tend to do when I'm creating pyrography is I like to try and get the image and what I'm trying to create straight in my mind, you know, so I can see what it is that I'm trying to achieve. So for me, really, even the first like day or two is searching out the image in my mind and then relaying it through my work. I've got my setting at just under 3 at the moment, because this is all just going to be like base layering of clouds. We may have to go to the medium space shader, because there are some indents where the cloud bank goes deeper. But if we use the edge of the flat round, we may get away with it, but we'll see how we go. And you can really just have fun and just open your imagination up when you're doing something on this. Well, this is a massive scale project that's a bit over the top really, with a lot of cloud. But you can just have artistic license and just build whatever cloud bank you feel like you want to create. Certainly no one's going to pick fault in you if you have a really good looking bank of cloud that isn't exactly like the reference photo, so I'm not worrying myself too much about getting it exact. I'm using the reference picture for some of the cloud. Like here, for example, you will see on the reference photo, there is actually a piece of cloud behind another piece of smoke, if you know what I mean. There's a different layer to it. So straight away there, we have two different tonal values. Because we think this steam engine isn't flat, is it? You know, it's tailing off. So it's a three-dimensional image we're looking to create. And this desk is squeaking, and it does my head in, so it probably does your heads in as well, as it's squeaking away as I'm moving around. Can't find where the squeak's coming from. There must be a mouse under there or something. But I think we're going to have to move over to the medium space shader. The large flat round is just not going to be pointed enough for what we want. You know, to get in the tight crevices and push things deeper back. We may even have to go to the extra small space shader, but we'll see. Just let this pen heat up for a moment. What I usually do is I usually touch down while the heat's still low anyway, because I can use that opportunity just to lightly work an area before the pen fully heats up. And you'd have to look at something this large as like a massive jigsaw puzzle. I don't do things by halves stupidly. I pick the most ridiculously hard image and just go for it, just jump in. I'm going to try and get rid of the mouse. I'm squeaking. First of all, with this pen, I'll just chase some of the outside edge of this first cloud bank. Now I'm on my medium space shader, I can get much tighter. I know when I first started doing smoke, I would just put a fluffy line and think, you know, there you go, there's your smoke, there's your cloud, whatever, you know, the cloud, you just put a little puffy line, but you can actually go into so much more depth and detail than that. You can really build like weight and like mass into the cloud if you're prepared to put the work in. Which one great attribute I got blessed with, I suppose, was patience. And as we all know, as pyrographers, we need patience, don't we? You know, wood burning is very much a patience art form. As we're searching out for the different shades. I mean, all the lessons I try and teach is all about creating more depth with your art. You know, I can take you on a journey from like basic shading, but we focus more on trying to create some real depth. I mean, this front stack will have to go very dark. But I don't want to just crank my heat up. I want to try and see where those depth changes are. Like on this area, there is a darker patch. And say something of this grandeur, we'll call it, because there is a lot of smoke here. It's going to take me a week or two to complete, and I won't bore you with sitting through a week or two of it. Once you start getting a feel for it, then you just go off on your own sort of tangent. And the image just then becomes secondary, and you just start pushing things deeper and making shapes. This was a project I've been wanting to get to for a couple of weeks. I've just been so busy with other things. I had my son take his driving test a couple of days ago, and sadly they failed him on not looking over his right shoulder as he was pulling off, so he was a bit upset. I've been taking him on driving lessons, trying to get him ready. He is a good driver and he was ready, but he forgot to look over his shoulder as he was pulling away from the curb, and they classed it as a major and failed him. And then, as some of you know of the group, my dad had a major stroke in May, and along with caring for my wife, I care for my dad as well now. He doesn't need quite as much from me now, as he's getting slowly better and better. But there was a spell where I was there nearly every day, and suddenly my wood burning had to go on the back burner. Usually you'd find me at my desk wood burning every day. So you can see at this early stage, we're already trying to find opportunities to push areas further back, create some shapes. I've got my settings still on 3 on this medium space shader. So I suppose lesson 1 is all about finding the edge, searching for the shape. I often say we've got all the time in the world to create a piece of art. I'd rather spend a month on a piece and make it as good as I possibly could than rush it. I had put some graphite lines down that you probably can't see. To help me as a reference. Got a bit of music on in the background anyway from my wife in the other room doing some painting. And as we know with smoke, it's not like flat areas there's a lot of curves, isn't there, you know, and curls in the cloud. So you start formulating in your mind how you want this cloud bank to look. Start seeing the depth as you slowly just put your markings in. No, I do. Oh, let's see now. It's saying I've got 55 minutes on my camera. I thought my memory card was full. And then I could have been rambling away to myself and not actually filming. Done that before now. Done a session, checked. And I had no memory left on my phone. So here's that area where there's a bit of cloud behind the main stack. We have a group on Facebook as well, which is called Pyrography for Beginners and Beyond by Flamespyro Art. We've got a really good member base of pyrographers, some fantastic pyrographers in the group. We run monthly Pyrographer of the Month competitions, and we now have 3 classes. We have beginners, intermediate and advanced for those who are super skilled, so everybody can get to enter a piece of art and not feel like, well, what's the point, because I'm going up against Joe Bloggs who's been wood burning for like 15 years and is a master. So all entries go in a pool of people at the same skill level, because we're all at different stages of a journey, aren't we? then you do have those who are more naturally talented than some of us. I mean, I'm not naturally talented. I've just been through a lot of practice. I will time lapse quite a bit of this project. So hopefully you can see it come to life. Try and work on your outside edges and get yourself some shapes going on, you know. So on this side piece I'd started, the large flat round was okay because it was just as if it was a cloud in the sky. There wasn't much like depth and dips in it like there is with all this smoke. You know, coming off there, we're going to use a reference picture to a degree. And stuff like this, you might have like just like a little like set of bird's wings that goes in, and as you darken that up, it'll give, as you go deeper and deeper with the burn, it'll push these areas further back and hopefully start capturing different layers. In smoke there's tons of different layers, isn't there? It's sort of going all over the place. When I spent several hours transferring out as much smoke as I could at the start. I guess if you wanted to do it exactly to the reference picture, God, you'd spend hours, spend days transferring an image like this over. And my wife goes on at me about, you've got to copy the reference photo. A lot of the time I use the reference photo as like an outside template, and then I just go where my mind takes me inside. So I might start out with one image, by the end of it it's a completely different thing to the one I set out with. I suppose that's a good thing in a way, you don't plagiarize, as they call it, copying people's work. And you can say it is a unique piece of your own. Keep my reference picture going. Let's keep an eye to that clock. We're at half an hour. So the first couple of hours we'll be just trying to look and see where your opportunities are. A weird thing with say polluting smog like this, it actually, you wouldn't think it, would you, but it weighs. Something, you know, when they were on something on the news the other day going on about, we're gonna reduce our carbon emission by 500 million tons over the next X amount of years. So it must actually have weight to it. Even though it's floating in the air. I can just about still see my transfer lines. So like I was saying anyway, with the Facebook group, you're welcome to join us. There's a great bunch of pyrographers in there who will be more than happy to help newcomers to pyrography as we raise the profile of the art form. Weird thing is with it is that, I don't know if I've mentioned on previous videos, they class pyrography as not an art form, it's crafting. Yet if you were to do it on a piece of paper or a board of canvas, then suddenly it's a piece of art. So my goal, one of them, was to ditch that crafters tag and show this art form off for what it can actually be. And as you go deeper and deeper into your pyrography journey, you'll be amazed at the amount of detail you can actually create with your wood burning. You can see it's a lot of like dot and dabbing and putting little lines here and there until you start seeing a structure, like start building in your mind. You'll start seeing it and feeling more of the piece, and I don't know, your third eye starts to open up, and next thing you know, you get so engrossed into what you're doing that you just get to see the different depths and tones. I'll probably film this over like just 3 or 4 tutorials or so, with a lot of time lapsing in between, and then we'll discuss a little bit of what I've done during the time lapse. See, behind this main black stack there's a much lighter, whiter, fluffier cloud coming off all from round here. So we've got all the dirty smoke coming out of the front, then it goes white, then we've got a touch of grey, and then we go back to black, and so on. So it's early stage. I'm beginning to see some areas of depth. I'm sure a lot of you have seen that piece by Minister Robinson. It was a train coming out from under a tunnel with the smokestack coming off it, and it was a superb piece. If we can get anywhere near that with this, I would be really pleased with myself if we can get anywhere near that level. That would have been going 43 minutes. I said start with just find yourself, find some shape, and the first couple of hours I promise you is just going to be searching out a shape that looks cloud-like. We will stop this session at 50 minutes and then we will switch over to time lapse. Hopefully we touched on some of the key points and just starting off a project on such scale. This may end up like one like that horse experiment I did, where it went on for over a month or 2 months as I burnt myself out on it. Remember, the darker you burn, like this edge of this piece of cloud that sat behind this piece, the darker you go, the further back you will push it, and you leave it sat next to its lighter neighbour, it will give the effect that it's sat further deeper in. And that's what we're striving for with our art, searching for more depth. We want to take a flat piece of wood, flat canvas of wood, and turn it into something three-dimensional. So it's going to be like when I was sat as a kid and I used to do jigsaws, and I used to do like find bigger and bigger jigsaws, like 3,000, 5,000 piece jigsaws, and spend weeks and weeks working on them. Sometimes feel that what I should do is would burn half of it first and then start a tutorial on it, because I know for a lot of you, if you've got to this 50-minute mark, you haven't seen a lot apart from me dabbing away at the outside start of this stack. But you'll see a lot more on the time lapse. So remember, look for opportunities and just open your mind up to how you can create more depth and push some of that smoke deeper in, get yourself some, you know, like dark crevices and stuff, because there's like little sharp edges, sharp ridges to the edges of cloud banks. So just build them up, get an image in your mind of the shapes. Like here, for example, tell you quickly before we lose time on my memory card, there's an opportunity to push some of the cloud deeper. wish I could just take you on the whole journey and just sit without talking and just wood burn. Then it wouldn't be a tutorial, would it? So with the memory card coming up to being full, a couple of minutes off, thank you all for tuning in to session 1. We're making a tentative start on building a big dirty load of smoke coming out of this front chimney. And as the time lapse goes on, you will see hopefully much more depth and this bank of cloud coming to life. Okay, so I shall say goodbye for now from this session. Happy wood burning, everybody. If you are trying to tackle this picture, best of luck to you. It is a mammoth experiment in it, so just give it your best shot. Reach for the stars all the time. Everybody can create art. All it takes is passion, and passion can take you wherever you want to in life. You know, everybody can do whatever they want to do and be whatever they want to be. It all just depends how much dedication you're willing to put in to something. So happy pyroing, and I shall see you all in lesson 2.